Hello, buddy. Chris here on City 2 Wrestling. I know it has been quite some time since I've done anything on the channel. I'm sorry about that, guys. I am back though, doing my replays, for the shows and whatnot. And so we just had NXT Takeover War Games 2, and so I'm gonna recap it. Let's get started. So, first match of the night ended up being an impromptu match between Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno, where Riddle just knees Cassius Ohno in the face and gets the pinfall. And then you see Cassius Ohno just kind of stumble around all over the ring for the next couple minutes. So, it was okay to start the show. I haven't watched NXT a whole lot, so I haven't really seen how Riddle's done on the show. But I expect to see a continued feud with those two. How long, who knows? But I see that coming. So our next match is the 2 out of 3's Falls match for the NXT Women's Championship between Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler. As soon as the bell rang, Kairi Sane just took it to Shayna Baszler, and you were like, "Whoa, there's no way she's gonna be able to get the win out of this." Just beating the crap out of her, throws Baszler over, throws her back in the ring to where very heel of Baszler to have her friends Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir beat up Kairi Sane, throw her back in the ring. Kairi Sane taps out for the first fall. I'm not I wish to say I wasn't surprised that was going to happen, but it kind of was. I'm not surprised. It's kind of predictable. You see that kind of happen. For the next fall, Kairi Sane gets the second fall. They had some nice spots with that part, but Kairi Sane gets the second pinfall. And for the final one, pretty much all hell breaks loose. You have Dakota Kai and Io Shirai come out to try to even up the odds between the three, but Baszler ends up beating the second pinfall to retain the title off of. It was. I enjoyed what happened because it was like an elbow drop and she rolled her over into the pinfall. So I mean it was nice. The only thing I don't like about this match was I don't think it was like a definitive end to their feud. I kind of see this continuing. I don't know, and the thing I don't know. It's hard to kind of tell is are they gonna have this be the feud that kind of goes like the four horsewomen of MMA, WWE, or is it going to be the 3 versus 3 NXT? There's a lot of uncertainty to that, but you can see something happening, you just can't tell what it's going to be right now. But it was not a definite end to their feud, and you can clearly tell that. Our next match is the match between Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano. The crowd. If you listen to the crowd, first match was completely behind Riddle. Second match they were completely behind Kairi Sane. This one, Johnny Gargano came out first, and it was like a mixed reaction of boos and cheers because Gargano is clearly the heel. Well, actually, he's clearly the heel in this. I mean, I would say he is. At least in my opinion, he's the heel. And it's you're not seeing, he's not getting booed entirely. And then when Aleister Black came out, he was getting the cheers, entirely, pretty much all cheers. And so the crowd, was more behind Black than Gargano, but they weren't. And so it was weird to kind of see this happening because Gargano has always had the crowd behind him for pretty much that. I think every match I've seen him in Takeover, crowd's always been behind him until this time, and understandable. Why Johnny why, but this one was a hard hitting match. I mean they just beat the crap out of each other, and it was nice. It was a good. I very much enjoyed this match. The only thing I really didn't like about the match is just Aleister Black just seemed to be kind of slow and just kind of not just not as quick as I've seen him in matches. He just seemed kind of slow, and so just kind of didn't. It took a little bit of luster away from the match, I think. But overall, it was it was nice. Aleister Black does get the pinfall, but I mean, I think it was like two Black Masses in a row. But overall, it was a good match. Like they just beat the crap out of each other, and and kind of like the women's match. There wasn't like a definite end to the feud, or it wasn't like one it's just the storytelling for this, and I'll talk about it at the end a little bit more. But the storytelling for like the whole episode, like the whole takeover, just seemed different. Not bad different, but just different. The next match is the NXT Championship match between our champion Tommaso Ciampa and Velveteen Dream, and this one took it to 11. I would like to say it was hard hitting even more than the one before, and like each one just got progressively harder hitting, and just the spots were just way like it was like whoa. I really enjoyed Velveteen Dream. He dressed up like Hollywood Hogan, and we saw him drop Hogan's leg and Macho Man's elbow, and just do these moves that we haven't seen in such a long time. But the crowd was behind him so much, and it was just like whoa. I'd like to say I think he stole the show. Just because I feel like this feud came out a little bit out of nowhere, but it was good. Like it was a good match. Not surprised on how the finish went. I really was surprised that we didn't because there was one point where Ciampa moved the padding. Like I'm surprised anybody got hit on the concrete. I was very surprised that didn't happen. But like it was just whew. It was a good match, just to say that. But it almost makes me feel like we're gonna have it's almost like it's setting up a fatal 4-way match. I'm gonna predict this now. I feel like we're gonna see a fatal 4-way match between those four guys for the title. I would say probably at Takeover New York before Mania. I don't think they're gonna have it in Arizona. I think it's gonna be in New York, so they can build the feud more between the four guys, because I don't think any of them have. I mean, and I know we've seen Ciampa and Gargano go like that was pretty much like what all they did for so long. But I feel like we're gonna see all four of those guys just keep at it, and I really think that one's going to be a good match if they do the fatal 4-way, which I think they're going to. I think it's going to be fatal 4-way, Takeover New York, and we'll see what happens with that one. And then for the main event, we have our War Games match between the Undisputed Era with Pete Dunne, Ricochet, and the War Raiders. And of course, so the thing I really didn't like about this match is and they did it last year too, was like, the match hasn't started till everybody gets in the ring, and it's like they just say it, so they repeat it over and over again. And that was probably the only thing I didn't like about it. But back to starting in the match, or not really the match, but starting in the cage first was Adam Cole and Ricochet, because their feud's still going on for the North American title. And so they just beat the hell out of each other. And then next person was who was it? Kylo. So it went like this. So Undisputed Era on NXT on Wednesday ended up getting the first, they got the advantage. So that's who came out first with Undisputed Era, and the progression of releases out of the shark cage. So I went Kyle O'Reilly, Hanson, Roderick Strong, Rowe, Bobby Fish, and then finally Pete Dunne. And when Bobby Fish came out, he actually ended up blocking Pete Dunne up with another chain and another lock, threw away the key. So Undisputed Era just and up to that point. So when it was the 3-on, up to the 3-on-3, it went like the match went back and forth between whoever came out, right? Whoever was fresher, and then when Bobby Fish came out and they're trying to like open the shark cage, like Undisputed Era just massacred the rest of the guys, and it was just bodies laying everywhere. And then when they finally get some bolt cutters and are able to get the shark cage out, Pete Dunne just starts throwing crap and just throwing all kinds of stuff, and the ring, the match officially gets started, and they just that one it just, I mean, that was a crazy match, to say that with the War Game. I mean, the spots were nice. The spots were just the crowd was so into it, and it was nice to see. And nice to see that it went back and forth. And then I think the craziest spot, which I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, but like Ricochet jumped off the top of the cage into everybody else, and it was just a good match. And then we get the final pinfall was actually Pete Dunne and Ricochet on Adam Cole, and so the team of Ricochet, Pete Dunne, the War Raiders win, and we actually, the end of the show is having the UK champion Pete Dunne and Ricochet, the North American champion, on top of the cage, all like, yeah, we won or whatever. But that match, it was a good match to end it, and like every takeover I've seen sets the bar so incredibly high for Survivor Series. Survivor Series has the potential to beat it with the matchups that we have. And I really hope they do beat it, because it's just how the matchups are. But who knows? But with this takeover, like I said earlier, it had such a different feel to it. Like each match got progressively harder hitting, and just the spots where each spot got just more and more just elaborate and everything. And the one thing is, it's almost like it's not like, because we have feuds where it's like, okay, so you're gonna have 3 pay-per-view matches, right? One's gonna win, final's gonna win. And it's not, and I feel like this takeover didn't really do that. It didn't really have like a definite, like, it's not the beginning of the feud, the middle, or the end. It's not, it's hard to kind of place it. And it's just kind of, we're just going to see this, I think, a continuation of the feuds, but not like it them like draw it out too long, which we really have, I don't think we've seen it in NXT a whole lot. But who it's hard to tell, of course, with their storytelling, but especially with, I don't remember seeing any call-ups after SummerSlam. So I don't know if we're going to have any call-ups that are going to ruin any of this stuff. But, yeah, it's just, there wasn't a match I didn't like. It was kind of predictable. I didn't really see a whole lot of surprises in the outcomes of any of the matches. Including the Riddle Ono match. I wasn't surprised that's how it came. I thought it was going to be a tad bit longer, but it's whatever. So that is my recap of NXT Takeover War Games 2. If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you're listening on SoundCloud, don't forget to follow as well. Don't forget to follow me on social media so you guys get these updates. I know CD2 Wrestling has probably been the most neglected this year, and I'm sorry about that, guys, but I am back, and I'm going to be making sure I'm making content on this channel, as well as my audio recaps, or my podcast, whatever I want to call it. So thank you guys for watching and listening, and I will catch you guys next time.